All right, what is up, y'all? Hope you're having a blessed day. I just wanted to come on here and give you guys some hard truth. Just some raw reality, man. Because I think it's we're missing that nowadays. Everybody's softening down, like how life really is. Okay, how life really is for the majority of us is hell. I'm just gonna call it how it is, bro. And I don't mean that in a pessimistic way. I am a born-again Christian, and I'm not trying to say like this life sucks or like there's nothing to be grateful for, nothing to be, I'm blessed in many ways. What I'm saying is the process that it takes to get to where you want to go does not look fun for the most part. There's ways that you can be grateful for the process and be content with where you're at, but I'm just going to keep it real, man. The work that you have to put in, for the majority of us, it ain't fun, bro. It ain't fun, and it's not supposed to be fun. We wouldn't know what the good days are unless we had bad days, right? So there's going to be a lot of bad days that you go through that make the good days that much better, that make the good days way more, you're able to be grateful for and, actually reap the benefits of the good life and the good days because you went through the bad days. So I don't really look at the bad days or the days that aren't fun in my life and just get all down and out about it. I look at it as like, man, like this is just part of the story. Like this is the good days, and when I win, it's going to mean so much more because of this right here. I try really hard not to, look at the task that I have in front of me and get discouraged and get, all beat down about it because it's not supposed to be fun. Like how you view what you do will determine how you do it. Your perspective on your situation, your perspective on the work that you're putting in, the goals that you have, how you view it is going to determine how you do it. If you have a goal, right, and you're putting in the work and you're looking at this work like, dang, bro, like it's not supposed to be like this, or I should be living a little bit. I should be, making the most of the times that I have right now, and man, I need to go out more and I need to enjoy my time a little bit. It's like that's cool and all, right? That's like you may be telling yourself, like, and people tell me this all the time, like, oh, enjoy your life while you're young. You may not make it until you're old. But what if I do? The last thing that I want to do in my life is get older and realize, like, dang, bro, I wish I would have just put the work in now, or, back then when I was younger, because I'd have been chilling right now, but I just wanted to have fun, right? Just wanted to live a little bit. And the truth is, tomorrow's not promised, right? That is true. But you may make it to when you're older. So you got a decision to make, man. Do you really want to take that risk? The risk of not putting in the work now, it's front end pain, but it's going to be back end pleasure. Or you could have front end pleasure with back end pain. Me personally, I'm choosing the front end pain, because if you think the cost of winning is high, wait till you get the bill from regret. That's something that I live by. And so any day that I have a task that I got to do and I don't want to do it, I got to remind myself, like, yo, bro, you want to be in your 40s, 50s, telling all the young kids, yeah, when I was your age, I just, and be average and just be that copy and paste. Like, we all have them in our lives. Like, we all have that grandpa or, uncle that's like, yeah, back in my day, I just, lived a little bit. I tried here and there. I used to make, this, and I used to do this. But you look at him now and it's like, dang, bro, like, why am I going to take advice from somebody that's just like not where I want to be at? And that's something that I stopped doing, man. I stopped taking advice from people that I didn't want to be like. Yes, I'm not going to dismiss everything that everybody says, but I take it with a grain of salt if they're not where I want to be at. Okay? So you have to change your perspective on the grind as a whole, right? Because it's essential to get to where you have to go, and realizing that it's not supposed to be fun. So stop waiting for the day where you feel like doing it more, because the reality is, like, that day is not really going to come for the most of us. Like, yes, there's some days where you're more motivated, and there's some days where you're all fired up, but relying on that is not good, bro, because motivation comes and goes, bro. So, like, when people come to me and they're like, yeah, bro, like, I just don't really have motivation right now, I'm like, all right, they're going to be in their 40s, 50s saying, you know, dang, I wish I could have, because you can't rely on that, bro. Even me, like, there's certain days I'm not motivated, bro. I'm never really motivated to do the stuff that I have to do to get to where I have to go. I have a purpose, bro. This is bigger than me. You know, I'm married and I have a wife and we want to have kids, and God willing, we do have kids. I want to be able to be there for them and not work 40, 50 hours a week. You know, I'm gone all the time. When I do get home, I'm just all pissed off because I got to go work my 9 to 5 again tomorrow, and it's like, I don't want to do that, you know. There's an ambulance coming up, might be loud. So praying for them, man. Hope it's good, hope everything all right. What I'm saying is, you got a decision to make, man. If you're not willing to go through the pain and the suffering now that it takes to become the man that you want to be, then you need to be mentally preparing yourself for the suffering that you're going to have to go through later on in life, when you're like, dang, bro, what if I would have just done that? What if I would have just started that business? What if I would have just started the gym earlier? You know how many dudes that I see now that are out of shape that tell me, bro, so, dude, every dude that's out of shape always wants to tell me, wait till you get older. Wait till you have kids. You know, man, my metabolism ain't fast like it used to be. And I'm like, brother, do you have access to a gym? Do you have, you know, are you injured? No. So what is stopping that person from getting up earlier in the morning or working out at home? Bro, it's excuses, and I'm tired of hearing it, and I refuse to buy into that. They can sit there and watch me as I get older and have kids stay in shape, bro, because this is the difference between that person and me. They didn't even take the gym seriously like that when they were younger. It's not about, you know, getting the muscles and having a fast metabolism. It's about growing the discipline, so that way when you are older and when you do have kids, you're already disciplined in that area. So it doesn't matter how much time you have, you're going to find a way to get it in, you know? The same thing goes with people that are older than me telling me, oh, like, yeah, I wish I would have started my business, or, you know, it was hard, or this and that, all these, like, things that they're trying to tell me. And it's like, it's weird when you tell people about your goals and they hit you with criticism before encouragement. And you notice how it's only really coming from the people that, you know, aren't where you want to be at. You're never going to talk to somebody that is where you want to be at, and the first thing they say is, yeah, bro, I don't know. You know, they're going to be like, dang, that's fire, dude. Like, you got this. But it is going to be hard. They don't initially give you that criticism and that, like, you know, Debbie Downer type attitude, bro. You know, I wish that somebody would have, you know, told me, like, bro, I've heard it all, dude. I've heard it all. Like, I'm 22 years old, and, like, yeah, I'm still young, but, like, dude, I feel like I've heard it all enough to the point to where I'm like, man, I don't care what anybody says, man. I know that in this life, if you want to do something, if you want to make it happen, you can, okay? We live in America. Everybody has the same opportunities. Like, there's no reason for you to be sitting here making excuses like, oh, this person maybe, you know, was gifted or more talented than I was, or they had help. It's like, if you give yourself a get out of jail free card, you're going to be locked up in the average life. So I refuse to give myself excuses, man. I refuse to sit here and tell myself, like, man, this person was more gifted, or he had more time than I did, whatever, bro. Because you make time for what you really want in life. You make time for what you really want, bro. So, you know, you have to learn how to, you know, really swallow that pill of, like, man, if I have this goal in life, the work is not supposed to be fun, but I have to do it. I have to do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets to do it, because you're just building your discipline. The actual task doesn't necessarily get more fun, but it gets easier to take the action, if that makes sense. You have these two voices in your head. One of them is trying to keep you comfortable. The other one is saying, dang, bro, we got to get moving. You know, we got to do something. if you can learn to listen to that voice each and every day, bro, it's gonna get easier to listen to that voice. You build a relationship with that voice. You have the other one that's trying to keep you comfortable. The more you listen to that voice, the closer you get to that version of you, bro. So learn to take action and stop waiting for the day to where you feel like putting the work in. And don't let any outside noise or anybody from the outside, don't let their opinions make you feel different or discouraged, or like what you're doing isn't the right move, or like it's wrong. Look at where they're at in their life. If they're not where you want to be, take it with a grain of salt, bro. Take it with a grain of salt. We live in America, bro. Like I said, like we all have the opportunity to be something great, you know? And if you're out here making excuses, bro, I think you're just lying to yourself. And you're never gonna make progress until you're 100% honest with yourself. And once you can be honest with yourself every day, it gives you the power to change your situation.